Chapter 2. Ethan's Fire. Ethan. The burned-down building stood like the bones of some long-dead beast. Ethan parked his truck half a block away and killed the engine. The air smelled of damp concrete and old smoke, though the fire had been gone for years. He sat in the driver's seat, fingers tightening around the steering wheel. His breath came slow, measured, out of habit, not control. He had driven by this place 100 times, maybe more. But today, he got out. The sidewalk was cracked, weeds pushing through where the city had long stopped caring. The building itself was nothing but a skeleton now. Blackened beams, a collapsed roof, broken windows staring out like vacant eyes. He stepped closer, boots crunching on gravel and glass. The last time he was here, the flames had turned the night into day. The air had been thick with the screams of sirens and the acrid sting of burning insulation. He remembered the way the fire moved. Alive, hungry, untouchable. The way it swallowed the building whole. The way it took them. Them. His stomach clenched. He forced himself to walk toward the ruins, to face it head-on. Inside the charred remains, everything was still and silent. The outline of what had once been a doorway was barely visible. The stairs had collapsed long ago, leading nowhere. The ground was uneven, littered with debris. But Ethan didn't see the wreckage. He saw the little girl at the window. She had been 7, maybe 8, her face smudged with soot, her hands pressed against the glass. He had yelled for her to stay put, had sworn he would come back for her. He never did. The roof caved in before he could reach her. His jaw tightened as he turned away, but his eyes caught something in the rubble, a flash of color among the gray. He knelt, brushing away the debris until his fingers found it. A toy. A small melted plastic dinosaur, its once green body now twisted and charred. He turned it over in his hands, his thumb running over the deformed ridges of its back. It had probably belonged to the boy. The boy had been 4. A blur of tiny arms clinging to his mother as she screamed for help. Ethan had carried the mother out. He had promised her that the fire hadn't reached her children's room yet. He had been wrong. A gust of wind stirred the ashes around him, sending a ghost of soot into the air. He should have saved them. He had run into fires more times than he could count. Some nights, he still woke up choking on phantom smoke, feeling the weight of his oxygen tank pressing against his back. He had pulled men, women, children from infernos, his body moving on pure instinct. But not that night. That night, he failed. He closed his fist around the ruined toy, the sharp edges pressing into his palm. The weight of it settled into his chest, heavy and familiar. They had told him it wasn't his fault. The fire had spread too fast. The structure had been too unstable. There had been nothing he could do. He didn't believe them. A rustling sound broke through his thoughts. He turned. A man stood at the far end of the lot, near what used to be the back entrance. He was hunched, wearing a tattered hoodie, hands stuffed deep into his pockets. His eyes flicked up, meeting Ethan's for the briefest of moments before darting away. A squatter, probably using the ruins for shelter. Ethan exhaled through his nose and looked back down at the toy in his hand. The guy wasn't his problem. But still, he stood, dusting off his jeans, and walked toward the man, his boots crunching loudly against the debris. The guy stiffened, but didn't run. "You staying here?" Ethan asked. The man hesitated, then gave a small nod. Ethan looked past him, deeper into the wreckage. No one should be living in this place. He pulled a few bills from his pocket and held them out. "Get yourself a meal, and find somewhere else to sleep." The man stared at the money, then at Ethan, before finally reaching out to take it. "Thanks," he muttered. Ethan nodded, turning back toward his truck. He wasn't sure why he had done that. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was some half-assed attempt at redemption. Maybe he just couldn't stand the thought of someone else being swallowed by the same darkness. As he climbed into the driver's seat, he looked down at the plastic dinosaur still clutched in his other hand. He should throw it away. But he didn't. Instead, he set it on the dashboard and drove off, leaving the ruins behind. For now.